Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom and welcome. Welcome to our second recorded Shabbat for this month of April. I guess we are getting a little bit used to it at this point. Welcome to my home. I hope you had the chance to download the Bet Aleph Kabbalat Shabbat prayer book so that you can follow along. It was embedded, the link to it was embedded in the email you received together with the link to this video. So maybe you want to pause right now and go back to that email and click on the link so that you can have the prayer book with you to have all the blessings and the prayers we're going to share together tonight. I'll wait, just go ahead and do that now. So as we did previously, you will see once again that this Shabbat is a compilation of recordings like this one, which I taped at my house. Some that the singers and myself recorded, some now many weeks ago before the mandatory isolation order came through. And also, as you will see from previous Shabbats in our sanctuary from months ago, and some that Dianna Rose recorded at her home. So, the way I would invite you to think about it is as of a quilt of different gorgeous squares that Dianna, in fact, will be sewing together to create this masterpiece. And we hope you enjoy it. We hope you enjoy it. So many of you have asked me, how am I doing? And, I wanted to share a little bit of where I find myself personally in these most challenging times for all of us. And I guess, like everyone else, I have my good days and my not so good days. But I would say that overall, this has been challenging, and I'm not doing too well right now, in fact. And it's not because of the ongoing isolation per se. I am blessed with great support. I am blessed with having all four of us, my two kids, my wife and I, together at home right now. And that's a great blessing. And my work has kept me very busy. So I have not yet been able to complain about being bored. That has not happened. But I think I would say that my heart is breaking, really. My heart is breaking every day because of the pain and the suffering I feel. And the pain and the suffering I feel perhaps maybe too deeply, in fact, in reaction to all that is happening around us. And I've really been thinking about what I would want to say in this opening little video tonight. And though it's not easy, I think this is what I really thought might be important right now. At least it is for me. And what is really important for me right now is one of the most powerful and most reassuring sentences I believe all of us wish we could hear right now is, I am from the government and I am here to help. But we know by now that Our federal government is not coming. No one is coming. It has been made abundantly clear by now that we are on our own. The supposedly United States of America are made by our leadership of our federal government to feel that we are no longer united. States after state is forced, in fact, to compete for life-saving resources. So no one is coming from the federal government. And, don't think for a moment that, that check from the IRS we are all supposed to receive is actually for you. It's not. It's for you to spend so that, the 1% economy, they can continue to party. In a lot of ways, I believe at this point that a President Trump is really only the cherry on the cake that was in fact baked long ago. He is the unavoidable consequence of 40 years of neoliberal ideology that saw its coming of age with Reagan's uttering of that devastating quote I mentioned earlier. Really a racist, white supremacist ideology that sought to and succeeded in transforming a democracy into an oligarchy, a democratic republic into a banana republic. I mean, what do you call a regime where checks and balances between governmental bodies no longer apply? When a president can manipulate elections in his favor without even the remote possibility of being impeached for illegal actions, where votes are suppressed now as an avowed matter of policy, and favors are given for dirt on your opponents, where all powers really are concentrated in the hands of a wealthy few, and where the justice system is hollowed out to serve the powerful, protect the president, and allow for the felons who do his bidding to walk free after being pardoned. What do you call that, if not a banana republic? It took less than 40 years for this ideology of dismantling and privatizing government to bring us to the brink of fascism. And I don't know if Reagan foresaw what he set in motion back in the 80s with that fateful declaration that painted these words, these words we so direly need to hear right now as, and I quote, the 9 most terrifying words in the English language. Today, Reagan's ideological nightmare is wreaking havoc all over this land. It is killing our fellow Americans at the staggering speed of 2,000 people every day at the time of this recording. And these are not statistics, not just numbers on an Excel spreadsheet or a headline in an article. These are people. These are people. These are someone's father, someone's mother, someone's uncle, someone's grandma. But our federal government is not coming to help. So they are dying. They are dying alone, completely alone, unbearably terrified as they struggle for one more breath that ultimately fails them. And they are disproportionately, we know, the forgotten ones, the ones we have left behind as the past 40 years have decimated their standards of living, relegated them to live in squalors, where the plague of poverty we have brought upon them has excluded them from our healthcare system and forced them to live in ever denser neighborhoods and overcrowded apartments. We have done that. We have done that mostly by not doing anything. We have done that by neglect, by falling enslaved to a system that sought to and succeeded in distracting us, shower us in technology and ever cheaper goods, turned us into good consumers and away from good citizens. You know, Rabbi Joshua Heschel, one of my favorite rabbis, once aptly said, "Some are guilty, all are responsible." This moment in history must wake us out of our complacency. It must cause us right now to scream, enough is enough. It must bring us to reject once and for all this neoliberal ideology that is only bringing death in its wake. Death to our neighbors, but also death to millions of species on this planet. An ideology that is bringing us day by day ever closer to the species extinction event right around the corner, that we have also closed our eyes to, that we refuse to see in the distance, myopically addicted as we are to our 2x4 smartphone screens with endless emails to respond to, tantalizing, brain-numbing little games to play on, and oh so funny little cat videos. So you were asking how I'm doing? Well, now you know. And the word that has been running and running in my head for days and days and days is solidarity. Solidarity. I can't stop thinking about it. And it is offering itself as an alternative to the word individualism. It is opening possibilities for a different worldview. And inside of me, it has begun to change everything. I will speak about it in my Dvar Torah later on in this video, in the specific context we inhabit right now. But as I think about it, and it haunts my thoughts every day, I remember growing up, I remember solidarity being the name of an underground political movement in Poland that eventually overthrew the communist dictatorship there. So I don't know what I mean by that. I don't know yet what I mean by that, but it's there. So as I am lighting our Shabbat candles right now, I want to dedicate their light to solidarity, to seeing the growth of a movement of solidarity, a growth of a movement of solidarity in our hearts, in our communities, in our nation, infusing our political parties and our political agenda, infusing our economy, infusing our world. May our practice of Shabbat, that is so needed right now, give us the tools to break free from the endless vortex of distraction that isolates and alienates us from each other, that is only interested in dividing us, in pitting us against each other, that we instead might stand in solidarity, might stand up in solidarity with each other, knowing the interdependence of all our lives, and the shared destiny that unites us. So I hope you join me and dedicate your candles as well, and the light of your candles this Shabbat, to solidarity between us, to solidarity between us here in America, but to solidarity between us as member of this global family. And we continue on page 1 in your prayer book, as we are about to share together the blessing over the light of Shabbat. A few of you have emailed the office to let us know if we were in community, and we are right now in community, what you would be lighting a candle for. And I'm more than happy to share this with you and to invite the rest of us for the next recording to let us know ahead of time if there is something you want to let the community know that you are celebrating or honoring, that you want to be mentioned in our video too. Please let us know ahead of time so that we can incorporate that early in our recording. Sandra Cuban is lighting a candle on this Shabbat to commemorate the 11th yahrzeit of her mother, Barbara Cuban, who she misses with all her heart. Barbara passed away March 8th of 2009. Dvorah Levi is lighting a candle on this Shabbat in memory of her father, Solomon Levi, on his 9th yahrzeit. And Cindy Campbell is lighting a candle on this Shabbat in memory of her mother, Nancy Merrily, for her yahrzeit, and another candle in gratitude for Bet Alepph's creation and expanding its online presence. And we are grateful for that as well, and for the technology that allows us to reach you in so many ways now. The blessing is on page 1. We cover our eyes, as it is traditional, to remind ourselves every time that the blessing we are sharing for the light of Shabbat is a blessing directed inwardly. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu להדליק נר של שבת. Amen. Thank you. And we continue with a song.
Hallelujah, 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 hallelujah. V'nomar lefanav shira hadasha, v'nomar lefanav shira hadasha. Hadasha, Vanomar the fun of Shira Hadasha, Vanomar the fun of Shira Hadasha. Hallelujah, 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 hallelujah. Vanomar the fun of Shira Hadasha, Vanomar the fun of Shira Hadasha, Vanomar the fun of Shira Hadasha, Vanomar the fun of Shira Hadasha. Hallelujah, 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 hallelujah. Vanomar the fun of Shira Hadasha, Vanomar the fun of Shira Hadasha, Vanomar the fun of Shira Hadasha, Vanomar the fun of Shira Hadasha. Hallelujah, 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 hallelujah. Vanomar the fun of Shira Hadasha, Vanomar the fun of Shira Hadasha, Vanomar the fun of Shira Hadasha, Vanomar the fun of Shira Hadasha. Hallelujah, 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 hallelujah. Vanomar the fun of Shira Hadasha, Vanomar the fun of Shira Hadasha, Vanomar the fun of Shira Hadasha, Vanomar the fun of Shira Hadasha.
Please rise as we turn to page 5 for the call to blessing. And we say together, Baruchu et Adonai HaMevorach. Bless the Eternal, the one who is blessing. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach leolam va'ed. Blessed is the Eternal, the one who is blessing eternally. And after we have blessed all there is, all that was ever created, we turn to page 6 to meet the words of the Shema, the words that are the central affirmation of our tradition, the words that affirms the oneness of being. We say, Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu,
Adonai Echad. Listen, Israel. The Eternal manifests as all that is. The Eternal is one. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Va'ed. Blessed is the name. The splendor of its presence shines eternally. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. 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 Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Va'ed. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Va'ed. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Shema Adonai Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Please be seated. And as we begin with opening ourselves to blessing all of creation, and as we continue to remind ourselves that all that is the manifestation of oneness, and the only thing left to do is to fall in love. Ve'ahavta.
Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha v'chol levavcha u'v'chol nafshecha u'v'chol me'odecha ve'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi metzavcha Hayom al bavecha v'shinantam levanecha v'dibartam bam v'shiftecha b'veitecha u'v'lechtecha b'derech u'v'shochbecha u'v'kumecha u'kshartam leot al yadecha והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם אני Adonai Elohechem, Asher hotzeti Mitzrayim, Liot Lachem, Le'Elohim, Ani, Adonai Elohechem.
Amen.
So one of the most fascinating stories in Torah happens in this week's Torah portion. The fiery death of Aaron's sons, Nadav and Avihu. Now here's how the Torah retells that story. Moses and Aaron then went inside the tent of meeting. When they came out, they blessed the people. And the presence of the Eternal appeared to all the people. Fire came forth from the presence of the Eternal and consumed the burnt offering. And all the people saw and shouted and fell on their faces. Now Aaron's sons, Nadav and Avihu, each took his fire pan, put fire in it, and laid incense on it, and brought near in the presence of the Eternal a strange fire, such as he had not commanded. And fire came forth from within the presence of the Eternal and consumed them, so that they died within the presence of the Eternal. Then Moses said to Aaron, "This is what the Eternal meant by saying, 'Through those near to me, I will be known as holy.'" Now, with the nearness of the Lag BaOmer, which always coincides with this week's Torah portion, I often connect the fire that consumed Nadav and Avihu to the legend of Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai. In Israel, every year, and I love that holiday, on the 33rd day of the counting of the Omer, Lag BaOmer, people gather around gigantic bonfires to mark, actually, in fact, in very festive ways, the yard site of Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai. That might seem strange, but here's what the story actually describes, the legend that describes Bar Yochai and the moments leading to his death, the day really leading to his death. Bar Yochai, if you don't know, is a towering figure in the world of Kabbalah, of Jewish mysticism. He is understood to be the original author of the Zohar, one of the founding Kabbalistic work. And there is this gorgeous story describing Bar Yochai on his deathbed as he is channeling divine revelation after divine revelation, all of it pouring out of him. It's as if on his last day, in his last hours, a force was compelling him to share all the mystical teachings that he had yet to reveal. And then it is said in the story that a strange fire, a fire-like radiance, a brilliant light filled the house as his soul departed. Now, there are many competing interpretations of the story of Nadav and Avihu in the Torah, which always means that nobody really knows what to make of that story, what it truly means. But the prevalent one, the one that comes to dominate the narrative, unfortunately, in my book, is the interpretation that sees both as great sinners. Nadav and Avihu, who took upon themselves to enact a ritual that Moses and Aaron had not sanctioned. And because they did that, they were consumed by a divine fire as a kind of punishment. And therefore, the teaching goes, what we are to learn from that interpretation is that none of us should ever take upon ourselves to innovate in matters of spiritual practices. And to me, that's doing such a great disservice. That's such a small way of understanding that story, and such even smaller takeaway from this huge, incredible, mesmerizing story in Torah. And besides, how could it be? I mean, a lot of rabbis, a lot of commentators, Torah itself describes Nadav and Avihu as towering religious spiritualities, men of exalted saintliness. The same words, actually, interestingly enough, that are used to describe Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai. And to me, the stories run parallel. The stories are intimately connected. Just like in those last moments of Rabbi Bar Yochai's legendary life, we see him, and where we see him merging with the one light of being. So did Nadav and Avihu, who, as they were drawing near to the presence of the eternal, as we hear in the words of the Torah, didn't perish at the hand of divine punishment, but in fact were transformed into that strange fire, into that radiance, into that burst of light. This year, though I usually stop there in my connecting the two stories, this year I had to know, for some reason, I had to know a little more. So I went in and looked into Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai's story to discover additional layers of what this story really is about. And there is a part of it that I mean, it's uncanny how this hits home this year. Now understand that Bar Yochai was only one of many disciples of the great Rabbi Akiva. And at the time of Shimon Bar Yochai's death, many of Akiva's disciples, in fact, died at around the same time. Now, the story goes, I discovered, that a plague, a disease, struck Rabbi Akiva's students, a disease that claimed 24,000 lives among them in a very short amount of time, in the 7 weeks between Passover and Shavuot, the 7 weeks of the counting of the Omer, which is why religiously these 7 weeks are a time of mourning in remembering the plague that killed 24,000 students, disciples of Rabbi Akiva. A plague, eerily enough, that disease that we understand to have been something like the croup disease, which is a disease, and I quote, that is characterized by a hoarse cough and difficulty breathing. I was stunned when I discovered that. The events that are discussed in the Talmud, where the rabbis actually show that both the disease itself and the inability of the students, of the disciples to contain it, was due to the great division, the great disunity among Rabbi Akiva's students. And that was compounded, and I quote from the Talmud, that was compounded by their inability to treat each other with respect. The parallels to our current circumstances are just shocking. Just shocking. Which is why, to me, as words greatly matter, that it is important that we reframe a little bit what we think, what we are asked to be doing at this time. And I'm specifically talking about the expression we have all come to understand and use every day to describe how we are supporting the flattening of the curve, the spread of the virus, that expression of social distancing. Because there is a subtle perception of that expression, social distancing, that feels like we are seeding seeds of greater division, of greater separation. That we are seeding a sense of needing to abandon each other to each of our own devices, to make believe that it's everyone for oneself. Social distancing. But that is not what we're doing right now. That is not what we should be doing right now. What we are doing right now is physical distancing. And in our physical distancing, we must cultivate social solidarity, social closeness, in fact, not social distancing, social closeness, social solidarity. We must reach out to one another and, in fact, maintain the social bonds, the social threads that connect us. We are not practicing social distancing. We are practicing social solidarity in the context of physical distancing. I believe that practicing social solidarity is what supports our awareness of the divine threads that unite us. The divine threads of light woven together as the tapestry of existence itself. And this awareness, brought about by social solidarity in the face of this plague, of this global pandemic, offers a unique opportunity to rethink our relationship with each other, our relationship with our world, our relationship with our ecosystem. We have an opportunity to rethink ourselves as we share this planet. And to ask the questions, what is our purpose as humans? What truly defines human success? What truly defines human success as individuals, but also as humanity itself? What does it mean to live a fulfilled human life on Earth? And I would venture to say, and I think you would agree with me, that it is not about, and never was about, getting the latest iPhone or the nicest, biggest, latest car, or the biggest house on the block, or all the stuff that we are asked day and day to buy and buy so we can fill our homes and our garages with more and more stuff. That is not fulfilling. That is the conditioning that we have been fed for decades now. That we have been given now the opportunity to challenge, as we are seeing every day, what actually truly matters. What are the really critical people in our life? And I would venture to say that we are realizing that it is more the cashiers at the grocery stores, the healthcare workers, the police officers, the truck drivers, all of those who are risking really their life and their health so that all of us can sustain living. And it's no longer the CEOs. It's no longer the movie stars. It's no longer who is the richest and how is the market really doing. We are not born to be good consumers in a system that oppresses us. We are born to be good parents, good neighbors, good caretakers of each other's and of our environment. And this dying old model of individualistic consciousness is what has brought us to the brink of annihilation and is about to engulf us with it as it is collapsing around us. Now is the time to wake up. Now is the time to remember that that we are expressions of the one life, of the one light, that all of us are beings of light ourselves, the energy of the divine herself burning as us, through us, connecting us, uniting us. Nadav and Avihu, just like Shimon Bar Yochai, in their respective legends, their respective stories, which to me are one and the same almost. They all woke up in their story to the impossible reality of their inner light, which in fact what it consumed was their separate sense of self, and opened their eyes to the oneness of being. What Moses says to Aaron in the end. And their awakening must be our awakening, that we might work together in solidarity to destroy that which seeks to divide and separate us, pit us against each other in a zero-sum game that threatens our very lives. And they're going to come at us. As soon as things go back to normal, we're going to be bombarded by waves of product placement and marketing, and be invited immediately back into the addiction of unbridled consumerism. And that will be the time for us to resist, to say no, to say that we do not want to be belittled in this kind of ways, made smaller, that our lives are, as human beings, are more than just being good consumers of your products. May we all continue to practice social solidarity. May that be our mantra for the months and years ahead, that we may all be renewed in the true searing light of the infinite being that we are. The infinite being whose threads of light unite us. Ken Yehi Ratzon. Amen. So I would like to invite all of us in a few moments of meditation, inviting you to find a comfortable sitting position and to gently find your breath, gently find your center, to let go into the moment, to simply let be. Whatever is here for you right now is exactly and perfectly what is here for you right now. There is nothing to change, nothing to wish would be any different than it is right now. You are here, present and aware, observing the body breathing in, observing, aware of the body breathing out. Can we, for just a moment, let go of any tension we might find in the body? As always, I want to bring your attention specifically to the belly. The belly we hold in, we tighten. The belly that holds emotions. And I would like to invite you as well to relax the muscles of the face. The face, if we notice that it is connected to our thoughts. And when we relax the face, we might notice not that the thoughts end or stop, but that they slow down a little bit. So see if every time you exhale, you can relax and let go even more. See if you can surrender into the moment. You are alive right here, right now. Breathing. Aware of breathing. And I'd like to invite you to bring your consciousness into your heart, to bring your awareness in the heart space. The area of the solar plexus. And to feel into the energies, the light that might awaken in the heart space. In Kabbalah, that space is called Tiferet. The Sephirah, the energy center of Tiferet. Which means to shine. And I'd like us to imagine for a moment the rays of light shining from the heart space that connects all of us right now. Those threads of light, threads of divine light that connects all of our hearts together. We are connected heart to heart, soul to soul. Whether we are conscious of it or unconscious to it. That which is aware through you right now is the same awareness, aware through me right now. The light of being, the life of being that is all of our lives. And because we are so connected, because we are, we are interbeings. We stand in solidarity with each other. And I'd like us to imagine for just a second the solidarity that connects all of us through the interbeingness of our divine light. We rise and we fall together as one. Can we feel for a moment the interbeingness with all life forms on this planet, near and far, engaged in the same breathing in and breathing out as we are right now? Can we feel the pull of the heart, the pull of compassion, the pull of loving kindness, threading its threads between us, wherever we are? Living heart to heart, moment to moment. One. And can this awareness, this understanding, allow us to pray for peace amongst ourselves, within ourselves, between each other, here and far, beyond the seas and the mountains, on the other side of the world? Can we know the shalom that is all of our shaloms? and to chant that shalom as one voice together. So join me. May this chant of wholeness, chant of harmony, chant of peace reach those through the tapestry of all the threads of our light, those who are in need of healing on this Shabbat, those you have inscribed on our community healing list, those whose names we share in this moment. Craig Wilson, Daniel Clark, Hillary Wilson, Phyllis Levin and Mike Levin, Farhan Hassan, Yitzhak Leib, son of Bertha Aharon, Dave Malkoff, Maxwell Bernard, Susanna Davis, David Mark, Rebecca Risman, Mi Lagerberg, Richard Aharon BenHaim, Brooke Hamilton, Dr. Gladys McGarry, Rivka Bat Reuven Miriam, Michael Standish, Chuck Bolch, Eldon Olson, Susan Austin, Linda Morris, Elizabeth Heath, Judy Robertson, Stanley Sofrin, Marilyn Watler, Megan El Sayed, Brad McDonald. And we name in our hearts the names of those we hold in light of healing on this Shabbat. Those suffering from COVID-19 here at home and all over the world. And all the names in your life, in your community, in your world that you hold right now. And we'll share with them an ancient prayer, a prayer that Moses spoke in an ancient wilderness, praying for the healing of his sister Miriam. El na, refana la. Please God, let healing be now. So we are in the concluding moments of our Shabbat service. We are on page 12 in your prayer book, about to share the Aleinu prayer together. And like I did last time, and I mentioned last time, this would be the moment where I would invite you in normal circumstances to rise and to join me as I open the ark, to face the Torah, to face towards Jerusalem, and to share in the Aleinu together. Obviously, those are different circumstances. There's no ark, but there is the Torah. I've brought the Torah with me so that as you say the blessing yourself, you can indeed face the Torah and imagine you are facing Jerusalem. In fact, if you put your computer with yourself facing east, it will be just as good. It'll be just the same. So here's our little Torah, and we are ready to join in saying the Aleinu together. We are the ones given this way of praising the Holy One of all being, that we might understand and express the greatness of the one who shapes all creation. We celebrate our uniqueness and that of others, and seek to discover the wonder that we are. Therefore, we bend the knees, we bow, and we proclaim our gratitude before the ruler of all rulers, the Holy One of all being. As it is said, then we shall truly realize the Eternal One as universal being. And on that day, the unity of being shall be celebrated by all. Aleinu leshabeach la'adon hakol, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא. ונאמר, והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ, ביום ההוא, יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד. Before we continue on page 13 with the Mourner's Kaddish, I'd like to invite all of us to take a moment and hold in our hearts the memories of those we remember on this Shabbat, in this moment, to invite their presence into our lives right now. On this Shabbat, we hold in light of memory those who have made their transition in recent days and weeks. Charlotte Klein, Sterling Claren's aunt. Alberta Hitzrath, Stephanie Hitzrath, stepmother. Alan David Roufa, Mike Roufa's father. On this Shabbat, we hold also in light of memory those who have made their transition in the past year. Demetrius Oliver Sullivan, Anne Koloff Klein, Justina Lamphere, Farron Rebecca Lowe, Eva Ruth Ansel, Scott Busby, Larry Lactrop, Angela Babu, Barbara Bell, Robert Paul Litz, Patricia Dohoney, Lori Scooch, Kenneth Klein, Al Kalish, Marty Leeser, Becky Ben, Martin Amadeus Russert, Don Krupkin, Pamela Mary Balch, John Philip Balch, Emma Norton, Teddy Freeman, Virginia Calvo, Marsha Jaffe, Lawton Wapples, Milot Petersky, Deborah Batts, Marian Marika Gordon, Stella Altwies, Mary Rose, Dan Klein, Eleanor Gerber. On this Shabbat, we also hold in light of memory those whose yahrzeit, the anniversary of their transition, happens at this time of the year. Alan Morris, Arthur Ness, Dennis Cole, Janet Staub, Judy Chiasson, Ron Busby, Solomon Levy, Solomon Louis Lipkin, and Nancy Merrily. And we hold in our hearts the names of those we remember on this Shabbat and share together in the mourner's Kaddish. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shmei Rabba, be'alma divera chirute v'yamlich malchute, b'chayechon u'v'yomechon, u'v'chayei dechol beit Israel, ba'agala u'vizman kariv v'imru amen. Yehi shmei Rabba mevarach le'alam u'lalmei almai. יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא ויתהדר ויתהלה ויתהלל שמי דקודשה בריחו לאלה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה תושבחתה ונחמתה דאמירן בעלמא ואמרו אמן. יהי שלמה רבה מן שמיה וחיים עלינו ועל כל ישראל ואמרו אמן. עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ועל כל יושבי תבל, ואמרו אמן. And at the bottom of the page, may the one who creates harmony above make peace for us, for all the household of Israel, and for all the peoples of the world. And let us say, Amen. There's a couple more things I want to do before we close this Shabbat together. One that I really enjoyed sharing with you last Friday, a week ago, when we were at my house to share the blessings for the candles and the blessing for the challah and the matzah and the kiddush. We did the Yevarechecha, we did the priestly blessing. And I would like us to do that again right now. So we are, if you need to have the page, it's on page 14 in your prayer book. And we open our hands. And we bless the inner divine feminine and the inner divine masculine within ourselves, all of ourselves. Yesimech Elohim kesara Rivka, Leah v'Rachel. May God make you like Sarah, Rebecca, Leah, and Rachel. May you embody the energies of our foremothers, of the divine feminine. Yesimcha Elohim ke'Ephraim v'Menashe. May you embody the divine masculine, like Ephraim and Menashe. Yevarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha. Ya'er Adonai panav elecha v'chuneka. Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom. The Eternal One blesses and keeps you always. The light of the eternal presence shines within you always. The eternal presence awakens within you and brings you peace. Amen. And before we say the Kiddush and the Motzi again tonight, we have another blessing to share together, to count tonight the Omer. At the time of your watching this video, we will be leaving the 8th day, but we will be still a day away from the 10th day. And that should give you enough information to know which day we are about to bless. And so we count the Omer. Baruch Ata Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kideshanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu al sfirat haomer. Blessed are you, Eternal One, universal creative presence, the one who sanctifies us with paths of holiness, of mindfulness, and gives us specifically this path of counting the days of Omer. Today is the 9th day, comprising 1 week and 2 days of the Omer. Amen. So we'll close with our Kiddush and our Motzi. So find your Kiddush cup, or any cup will do, a little bit of wine. And we'll say the blessing together. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam בורא פרי הגפן. אמן. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם, אשר קידשנו במצוותיו ורצה בנו בשבת קודשו, באהבה וברצון הנחילנו, זיכרון למעשה וראשית, כי הוא יום תחילה למקרא קודש, זכר ליציאת מצרים. כי בנו בחרת ואותנו קידשת מכל העמים, ושבת קודשך באהבה וברצון הנחלתנו. ברוך אתה אדוני מקדש השבת. אמן. לחיים. Okay. One last thing we have to do is the blessing over bread. It says Shabbat. At the time of this recording, however, we are still eating matzah. However, by Friday, when you are watching this recording, you should have a gorgeous challah in front of you to bless with. Right now, because it's before Friday, we're still eating matzah, and therefore this is going to be how I do the blessing tonight. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen. Voila. We have been together in solidarity throughout this Shabbat, throughout this service. I hope that we can very quickly find each other again in person in our gorgeous sanctuary, that we might celebrate Shabbat with great joy as we see each other and look into each other's eyes. But here's my hug for this Shabbat. Imagine me embracing you and wishing you Shabbat Shalom. We'll see you soon. Be safe. Be healthy. Take care.
There is love.